Hey everybody, I'm back, and today I'll talk about the NX graphical power and why I believe the NX should be a powerful console, or at least on par with the basic Xbox One and PS4. So with the NX review as near as ever, everybody is really curious about how the system is going to perform, especially because there are lots of rumors from credible sources reporting almost contradictory information about the NX graphical power. From one side we have websites like Eurogamer reporting that the console is going to feature a Tegra X1 processor, which isn't really that powerful, so the NX wouldn't be close to the basic Xbox One and PS4 in terms of horsepower. But from other side we have websites like the Wall Street Journal reporting that the NX will feature industry-leading chips, and other sources like the French website Gameblog have reported that the NX will be more powerful than a PS4 but less powerful than a PS4 Neo. And well, all these websites are relatively credible sources. They have been right about some other rumors before, so well, basically we have plenty of room for speculation about the NX processing power. And while there are a lot of people arguing that graphical power isn't really a issue for the NX, that as long as the console features great first-party games and a very innovative concept, the NX will succeed. That Nintendo is looking for the Blue Ocean strategy, so the NX wouldn't be competing directly with the Xbox One, PS4 or PC. And on the one hand, these people are absolutely right. I mean, it's great to have a gaming company that is focused on creating new concepts of playing games and not just releasing another console that's basically the same as the competitor but with different exclusives. However, the NX not being at least as powerful as the basic Xbox One and PS4 would bring some big problems to Nintendo, and of course one of the most talked of these problems, and possibly the most important one, is that the NX wouldn't have third-party support. So many AAA games like Call of Duty, GTA or BioShock probably wouldn't be released on the NX because it would be really difficult to port these games to a low specs console, and the ported version wouldn't be really that good in comparison with the PS4 and Xbox One versions. So we've been listening over and over again, almost like a mantra, that if the NX isn't at least as powerful as an Xbox One and PS4, then it will not have third-party support and it's going to fail, just like the Wii U has failed. And I do believe that this is a great reason why the NX should be powerful, but there's another reason that I don't see talked very often, and is that the NX being powerful is actually great even for Nintendo first-party games. Not only because these games could look a lot better being developed for a more powerful console, but also because developing for a more powerful system is always better, because if the developers decide to go for a more simple and light graphical style, they can do that, but as a creative option, not as imposition of the system's limitations. And on the other side, if they decide to go for a more complex and hardware demanding graphical style, they can do that too if they want. And of course, many games that feature a less hardware demanding graphical style look absolutely beautiful. I mean, even some games from Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis still looks very well for today's standards, in my opinion. And there are even many games released recently that go for more light processing graphical style that look absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. I mean, take Rayman Legends for example. This is simply one of the most beautiful games in the last generation, and it's actually not very graphical demanding. I mean, it works flawless even on Wii U and Xbox 360 and PS3. But that's because the visual style and even the game concept of Rayman Legends don't really ask for a very powerful console. It's a concept that could work in more simple consoles, and that's okay, it works and it's beautiful. However, mostly of the most commercially successful games released by Nintendo in the past few years actually have a visual style and a game concept that would benefit a lot from being run on a more powerful console, differently from Rayman Legends. Well, of course, games like Super Smash Bros. For Wii U or Mario Kart 8 already look really beautiful, but these games could look even more beautiful on a more powerful console. And I'm sure that the developers needed to put a really huge amount of effort to make these games look that beautiful on a more low-spec console like the Wii U. And well, if instead of worrying about how to make that game look great on a low-spec console, the developers and game designers only needed to worry about how to make a funny game and about great game design ideas, then the games would also be better because it would have more time to create the games and it would be more easy to develop them. And some game design ideas are actually impossible to be implemented on a less powerful console. For example, it would be absolutely impossible to develop a game like Zelda Breath of the Wild for the first Nintendo Wii. And I remember when the Wii came out, many people said that the Wii having worse graphics wasn't really a problem, that this wouldn't limit the creativity of the game designers because what make a game fun isn't really the graphics, it's the game design ideas. Well, turns out that this is not true because some game experiences are only possible with a more powerful console. So as you can see, we have this game Zelda Breath of the Wild that is absolutely beautiful and simply wouldn't be possible to be implemented in a less powerful console like the Wii was, because the game features a incredibly huge open world and the Wii couldn't render a world this big, so this game simply couldn't even be conceived in the past. Well, but of course this doesn't mean that Nintendo can't go into an alternative direction and create games that don't necessarily need to be run in a more powerful environment in terms of graphical power. More similar to what I was saying about Rayman Legends, and Nintendo already has created some games that followed this kind of approach, like for example Zelda Skyward Sword. This game already looked really beautiful on the Wii, and this game's worlds weren't really that big, so it was not very hardware demanding for the console. And well, the main focus of this game wasn't really the graphics, but the gameplay mechanics that used the motion controls of the Wiimote and the Wii Motion Plus. And this was not possible on the other consoles like the Xbox 360 and PS3. And well, in situations like that, I think that the Blue Ocean approach of Nintendo works really well. However, like I stated before, mostly of the most commercially successful games released by Nintendo recently don't go for this approach, and these games don't even use any of the Wii U's gamepad's features. And theoretically, the Wii U's gamepad is actually the most interesting feature of the Wii U, or at least its greatest differential in relation to its competitors like the Xbox One and PS4. However, like I'm stating here, turns out that Nintendo isn't really using its differential to its advantage. Nintendo is going into a direction that would actually benefit more from a more powerful system than the gamepad's features and gimmicks that Nintendo have bring with the Wii U. And its latest and most hyped game, Zelda Breath of the Wild, might be one of the most extreme examples of these situations, because this is a game that features an astonishing, great open world, and the fact that this game is being created for a low-spec console like the Wii U is actually a huge obstacle for the development of this game. I mean, we all know that the developers of Zelda Breath of the Wild have spent several months just figuring out how to use this game's engine, and even after all this time, the game is suffering a lot from frame rate issues. And it's not even rare. I mean, by what we've seen on the gameplay footage released by Nintendo, almost all the time that the players fighting multiple enemies, the frame rate drops significantly. So I have no doubt that It's being absolutely a pain in the ass for the developers to make this game run on the Wii U. It would be absolutely much better if they were releasing this game on a more powerful console, because they would only worry about creating a good game and wouldn't really need to worry a lot about frame rate and how the game is going to run on the console. So that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If so, please hit that like button and please subscribe to my channel. And if you have anything you'd like to talk about what I discussed in this video, just leave in the comment section below and I'll answer you as soon as possible. So thanks for watching and see you later.